everybody to our podcast today, Unconventional Wisdom, the CSE podcast show. And we've got, I think the only person we're going to miss today because he's on vacation is Keith. And he'll be back next week. We have Mike and Clooney, we have Randy, and we have myself, I have Marcus, our engineers on the side there. And we just had an excellent couple of days in our service. And Randy's going to talk about his here in a minute. When I say our service and the micro moment service, I usually attend that seminar in the morning. And if you want to check out what the micro moment and Randy's various covered calls and key credit spreads all about them, go to our website, which is this. Last time we used, I'm going to actually go to www.micromomenttrading.com. www.micromomenttrading.com. All of these fellows have on that site their entire programs. And you also can sign up for the free Cal report that comes out every Friday. And they have all the emails are in that Cal report to these gentlemen. And we have emails from people all over the world telling how they're doing, how their returns are going. You can just find out a lot about compound stock earnings from that, or actually micro moment trading from that also. But it's whatever's on the old, which is going to eventually disappear, the old compound stock earnings site is on the new micro moment trading. So it's www.micromomenttrading.com. The couple of tidbits I was talking. No, I didn't talk anything about it. I think maybe I did talk about the returns from some of the major funds, and they had about 30 of them, and they're bouncing around 2 and 3% a year. And some less than that. So it's really, really a bad time for returns unless you're using our stuff. We did today on micro moment trading. Where to go? Here it is, 15.95%, and that was about 45 minutes over 5 different trades between QQQ and Apple. And yesterday in the second session, we did 45.10% just on QQQs. And the second session usually is around noon to when the market closes. If these guys usually in their first session around 9:30 in the morning, 9:45, and then they take a break. The seminar platform stays up, and if they come back, you get notified on your phone they're on their way back. Now, yesterday, people got back, and a bunch of people made tremendous returns, and that 45.10% was over 6, but over 5 trades. I know it was over 6 trades. And now at this time, I always say, Randy, how are you doing? And of course, Randy's going to come back with some, huge return. I always say we're going to get him, but he just, diligently working there over there in Atlanta. He's in Atlanta, and Tony's up in Virginia, and Micah's out in Seattle, and I'm here in Fort Worth. So, since we've been talking, I've been talking a little bit here about the micro moment stuff. Let's start off with Randy. Randy, why don't you go ahead and tell me, how did you do today?
Well, I did 3 trades on it wasn't micro moment. I call it trade the moment because I'm not quite as fast as those 2 youngsters over there. They're in and out of Apple and QQQ in 30 seconds and 40 seconds. I'm in and out of SPX in like 2 minutes, minute and a half.
I remember when you were that fast though.
Well, those are just the short term, kind of early in the morning with all the volatility happens in the market in that kind of first 15 or 20 minutes. The market just goes kind of wild and crazy. So it makes it easy to implement the trade the moment strategy at that time. And I didn't calculate the returns because I just look at how much money do I make, but I can look at them here real quick and see.
Now, while he's looking that up, what Randy does when you subscribe to his service, you get these trades. These are real trades with his own money, his own account, and you get these trades when he anticipates making the trade. He's anticipating making it, and you get another email when he makes the trade, and then you get another email when he gets out of it, and so exactly precisely what's going on. And you get all that information. All that information in the Cal report. Every one of those trades are in the Cal report also. Tony and Mike are the same way. They let you know when they prepped a trade, when they enter, when they get out of it. Usually that's 15 or 20 seconds, probably max. You got your stuff there ready?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, and by the way, while he's still doing that, he's like I say, he's a little slower than Mike and Tony. You can communicate with us here. There's should be a chat. What is it? Mike, is a chat button on that YouTube thing or what? I don't have the same thing here. Or people can.
Yeah, if you comment on YouTube, we'll be able to see it. It goes directly to Marcus. So all the comments from we're gonna eventually stream this on Facebook Live as well.
Yeah.
This platform consolidates all the questions into one screen so that Marcus can make them pop up just like this. So.
Well, here's one from Dave. Just hold on there a minute, Randy. This is from Dave. Tried calling in, no luck. And I'll mention that here in just a second. Want to let Tony and Micah know that I appreciated their comments today. This is complicated stuff, though getting simpler as I grow to see and understand more. Okay, Dave, thanks a lot for that comment. And
thanks, Dave.
Okay, yep. So, okay, then continuing on. Well, why don't you read that, Micah?
By example, Tony's talk today on volume is something I've not been tracking, but we'll start doing, and I can see how that will help seeing volatility in movement and timing. Yeah, honestly, Dave, that's the process. There's, you don't realize how much your mind is actually taking in and how much you're seeing and how much is happening until you're to that point where you start realizing all these extra factors and things to tack on. But you have to have that foundational base. And then as you build, the things you've already learned become second nature. And you can focus on those new factors. And then those become second nature. And you really build into this phenomenal trader. And you've been putting the work in. You've been asking questions, engaging, doing really well. So.
See, I didn't ask. I asked him to read it. I didn't ask him to comment on it.
You know me.
Okay, Randy, it's your turn now.
Okay. So my three trade the moment trades this morning. The first one, and these are on SPX. So SPX is index, so it has much more liquidity. There's millions of shares traded, I think, every day, or at least hundreds of thousands. I think yesterday, about halfway through, was 750,000. And those are contracts. Those aren't shares. Those are actual contracts. But the ones that I did this morning, 9.3% on the first one. The next one wasn't quite so good, only 3.8%, and then the third one was 9.6%. And actually, each of those were 2 minutes or less. So I'm trying to catch up with the young guys, but none of those had to stay in very long. Because and those were entered after the big increase this morning. The SPX went up like 7 or 8, 9 points, and then it started coming down, and that's when I got into the puts.
So what was that, about 15 or 16%, something like that total?
9, 18, 21, 22.
And see, isn't it incredible? Because this morning the ones on the macro moment was 15.95 over 5 trades. So no matter which technique you're using here, it kind of washes out at the end. The returns are going to be astronomical no matter which one you're using. So you can really set them into your personality, where your personality is, as Micah would do and would say. You kind of pick the one that works for you, and it's convenient. And if you really want do things fast, quit, after an hour or so, then Mike and Tony. And if you want to be in a little more leisurely, and you can get it in Randy's saying, his trades, you can get in like we used to do back 20 years ago, get in and sit there and do nothing after you bought the stock and sold the call. Don't do anything until the third Friday. And you know exactly and precisely what you've made. You've got it in cash. You've had it in cash. You can spend it. And whether you find out or not, you know exactly what's going to happen. So it's incredible. Both these, all these techniques. What else you got there, Randy?
Well, for covered calls last week, which is the other service, that's the covered call platinum service where a covered call, which is you buy a stock or a long option position, and then you sell near week calls against it and generate income, and then eventually close it out and get your capital back. And so the positions entered for last week, Amazon was actually 32% over 4 days. Disney was 11% over 2 days. Qualcomm was 6.1% for a week, and IWM was 6.1% for the week, and Qualcomm was 9.6% for the week. But I did have one, McDonald's, that dropped more than originally planned, and so that's into management. And as you know, management means we don't sell for a loss, we just keep managing the position until it comes back up. And so that one is generating additional income for this week, and at this point it's on its way to being closed out tomorrow to get the capital back as well. So that one will take about 9 or 10 days of investment to have a 7 or 8% return in addition to getting
that's the other neat thing between the difference between these two techniques is that Tony and Micah don't have management tools. They're in. If thing turns negative, they get out. They try to get out for 1 or 2% loss because they're going to do 5 or 6 other transactions, 3 or 4% each. So they don't want a big loss to wipe out for good profits. But they have no management techniques. Over on Randy's side, he's got all these management techniques. They're in the toolbox, and it doesn't make any difference if the stock goes up. It doesn't make any difference if it goes down, because if it goes up, he's going to be able to get out of it and go get back in a new position. He can just stay in it and just keep selling calls every month. If it goes down, he has the tools to keep making that same 3, 4, 5% a week now. It used to be a month, now it's a week, even when it goes down, because he's got those tools which are in the toolbox. And then he's kind of invented things along the way that's just gotten much more efficient. So he's going to make these same high returns as Tony and Mike are making. Totally different concept, totally different thing. But again, they're in and out fast. That's why they're in and out fast, because we don't have the management tools, and they will never be, because the whole point of the whole point of the trade is to get in and out and quit, cut it off for the day. So
and just another quick thing, Joe, we talk about percent returns, because it doesn't matter whether on these positions it's about $600 or $700, $800 per contract, and so you could have a small account and trade a little bit of money, or you can put more money in and get more contracts, and you still get the same percentage return on your investment. So you don't have to have $100,000 or $200,000 or $1 million or $2 million to be in and out of these positions. They can be done with a small amount of money.
Yeah. Marcus, do you have some more notes there? Pop up.
Joe, did you mention the covered call seminar you're teaching this weekend?
I did not. I appreciate that. Hey, Marcus, get back to us on those. If you got some, pop them up there. Yeah, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I'm conducting a seminar we've been doing forever called the 2-day covered call seminar, and I'll be conducting it from about 9 a.m. To 4 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. And you can ask questions, make comments, whatever you want. But it's a great seminar. That's because I do it. And here's boy, it's really popping them up there now. That one, Mike, you addressed the psychology of trading. Now you probably got 10 to 12, 15 pages you can talk on that. What's Martha talking about? Martha, by the way, is one incredible micro moment trader. She talk about, what her returns are. Go ahead, Micah.
Yeah, she's been absolutely killing it. Not even just solid small gains, but she's time after time making 6, 7, 8 cents on these trades, multiple times a day. Absolutely killing it. But yeah, it's a great book. It's about written by a psychologist and day trader, and he relates his patients to some of the mental things that go on with day trading. So
let me interrupt you just real quick. Just one thing. When you say she's making 5 or 6, 7 cents, So people understand. Now, if they deal in micro movement and if they deal in Randy stuff, the same thing. But you're not buying a stock and then selling it a $50 stock and making 6 or 7 cents. You're buying an option, and that option is going to cost anywhere from 50 cents to maybe $1.50. And so those are huge returns. That's when you say like 5 cents. Let's say the average price on options $1. Well, that's 6-7% return in that 2 or 3, or 20-second period. And you do 5 or 6 of those, I mean, your money really compounds. In fact, $2,000. I can read this all the time. If you subscribe to their service or to Randy's service, and you just make 6% per week, 6% per week in 24 months, you got over $800,000. 24 months, you got over $800,000, and making a fraction of what they make in a day. So, okay, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. She's making, I mean, on these trades, she'll be hitting, 12%, 10, 6% over and over. And it's amazing what she's able to do. So yeah, she's been a model student for sure. And she still, she does that by asking a ton of questions. And then really, analyzing what she's doing and what we're doing and clarifying everything on the charts, what things mean. She asked more questions today about what the lower indicators do, differences between calls and puts, like getting really involved in how things really move. So
let me read this comment by Benjamin. Benjamin must be feeling sorry for Randy. He says, Randy's work is still just incredible. Now, Benjamin, we weren't saying his work's not incredible. We were just saying that, hey, would you switch it back to Benjamin? I didn't finish reading Benjamin. Yeah, they go, okay, Randy's work is still incredible. Randy's really proud of that now. Such high speed for Randy. Such high respect for Randy. Excuse me. Randy's on my mind as far as being fast. Such high respect for Randy as well as Mike and Tony as well. Thanks. Look, how they're coming out to support Randy. Here's Al. I've followed Randy's work for a long time. Yeah, he's been with us 10, 12, 15 years. I get more impressed by his patience and consistently as he uses the synthetic tools. There you go. Randy, what do you think about that? People actually, they do kind of respect you after all.
Well, I appreciate the comments. I work hard. Of course, it's because I'm managing my own money. These aren't just made up, make-believe examples. It's my own money. So I'm working hard to make my own profits, and I'm just letting everybody know what I'm doing. And that's how they learn. And they learn by virtual trading to begin with, putting every one of the alerts that comes out that says, this is what I'm getting ready to do, and this is why, and they put it in their virtual trading account. No money to risk at all. And they can follow right along step by step and see the actual returns actually in the market with real market prices right along the way. And so I'm working with my own real money, but they can start virtual trading and learn hands-on without any risk at all.
Yeah, I've told this story before. And what Randy's talking about is a long time ago, he retired. They had a over a lot of exec. He was the exec with a huge company and had a bunch of stock of that company. And they wanted a bunch of guys to retire. And so they brought in a bunch of financial consultants to meet with all these guys and let them go and see if they could retire. And Randy was one of the few that could retire because he was already doing the covered calls way back then and really just started. So he was able to take that stock. I don't think you still got that stock, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've diversified out of some of it.
Yeah. Yeah. He was only one of the few people in that whole organization that could live after he retired and quite well. So real proud of him. And also he had to overcome blindness. He was blind at that particular time, but he got after he took the first seminar, he got better. So seriously, he did. He got lost in an elevator. Who the hell can get lost in an elevator? Only Randy.
But Joe, that was back in 2006. I had just had LASIK surgery, so I didn't have to wear glasses anymore. And these are just reading glasses for looking at the computer. But actually, about 2 weeks ago, I got my first pair of glasses again to see better with long distance vision to help me with my baseball game, which getting ready for the tournaments in 2 weeks. They start.
He's an avid baseball player who travels the whole country and down into Puerto Rico and probably elsewhere during the baseball season playing baseball. But when I say he was blind, it was the very first seminar we'd done. It was the 2-day seminar, the one I do online now. Very first time we'd done it in Atlanta, and we didn't have a whole lot of people. That was the first time. And he comes in the morning with his cane and his glasses. He's sitting next to three other people at the very last table, and then we break for lunch, and everybody comes back. No Randy. Finally, Randy comes in quite late. Seems he had gotten lost after I'd already made a few comments about him being blind, the blind man. He got lost in the elevator. What happened was he got in the elevator broke. And it took him a long time to get him out.
Hour and a half.
Yeah. So he really get lost in the elevator, but I've always made it sound that way. So, do we have any more messages there, Marcus? Marcus isn't on top of it today. Okay, pop them up there, Marcus, if you're shouting with my voice there when you see him. Okay, now Tony and Micah, how'd your day go today, and what happened, and several things.
Yeah, I can start off. Apple was very, very strange movement today. We had completely vertical up and down waves. They're about, let me measure these. Very large moves, about 50 to 60 cents, just straight up and then straight down, straight up, straight down. So didn't really play hardly anything today. We just had this big drop on Apple, about $1, a little over $1. That was tempting, but I ended up staying out of that. So been weird movement out of Apple for the last week, honestly, and it's been a little bit difficult to catch any momentum because it's just not really happening. We'll have some big runs up and down, but they happen over the course of an hour or something like that. So I mean, that's a good practice to, it's a good practice to keep in mind your original strategy. And there's periods in the market like this where you really have to remember that and remember the reason you don't play trades like that, and how to protect yourself, because the majority of the time that we're on the webinar or anything like that is us not in trade. Okay. And that's something that's hard to remember because micro moment is very like action based type thing, and people think it's very exciting and there's a lot going on, and that's true, but we still have to remember that over 99% of the time we're sitting at the computer, we're not in a trade. So it's a whole different mindset to standard trading where you're managing positions, you're in trades for months, different things like that, and it has to be treated differently. So
okay, Tony, why don't you take that real fact checker there? So.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I cannot make my chart look like your chart. Your charts are much more dramatically illustrative vertically than mine. Is that because you have two charts on one screen? Honestly, I don't know. Possibly. They should all form into the size of screen that you are wanting. So it should all be, pretty relative to each other. So, but I'm not exactly sure why that's not as illustrative on yours. But yeah, to kind of feed off Micah, we've had some really, really great results from a lot of the listeners, and people getting 4, 5, 6. Some people are getting more percent returns than we are. Tim and Sam and Martha and a host of others. I can't really think of all the other names, but they're just absolutely destroying the service that we're trying to teach. And so we really appreciate the feedback, and also, I mean, it's been great to see all the results that you guys are getting. It is a different way of trading, and so I wouldn't say every trade's 15, 20 seconds, but today I think we made like 3 trades or something like that, and some were 40 seconds, some were a minute, minute and a half, whatever. But certainly we've seen a lot of good results, and that's been really good for everyone. So we're gonna keep on keeping on, I guess. And it's been really great to see all the guys' results.
Yeah, and again, you can go to our website, www.micromomenttrading.com, and learn all about their service and how you can subscribe to it. And same way with Randy's and with Keith, who obviously is not here today since he's on vacation. But yeah, the trade the moment is a great one, and we've got a lot of exciting things getting ready to happen with that particular service. We're probably in a few weeks the returns are going to be audited, which lets people know that those are really real trades, and they'll be audited. What we haven't decided yet if they're going to be audited weekly or monthly. So we're working on that. Also, the very first seminar that Micah and Tony is going to do is coming up here shortly. And it's going to be somewhat limited on the number of people that can be there, but it'll be their very first live in-person one during market hours. And so that's going to be exciting. And we'll be getting information on that probably next week when people can start signing up for that. Whatever you do, do not call Sue Ann or send her an email about that, because Tony and his life and my life are a real risk at this moment from Sue Ann. I shouldn't have even said anything about it, Tony.
Yeah.
So because it's a lot of things have to be. We've already made arrangements for what it's going to be, and pretty soon we'll be let people know that hope that you don't need a car when you come here, and there's 20, 30 hotels within a block walking distance of the place. So it's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be good. Here's Carrie. Am I saying that now? Karey. What is your preferred trading platform? Sorry if you're repeating, I'm new. Tony, you want to answer that?
Yeah, so what I use is Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade. I was with E-Trade before, but I like TD Ameritrade's trading platform. To me, I just like the look of it, the layout. That's what I've been using the longest. And so that's what I like to use. But I want to add something real quick. So all of our newer listeners, we had a couple questions today. I just want to make sure it's hard to transition, because a lot of times if you're on other services, and not just here, not just with Micro Moment, but with other services at other companies, a lot of times you can follow along on the trades. And that's what's different about Micro Moment, is because they happen so quickly that you can't really actually follow along step by step each trade. We can just teach you when the correct time we like to enter and try to get as much profits as we can, and the strategies behind those. And so we just want to make clear that this is an educational service and not an alert service. For many reasons, but
yeah, I think the key here, Tony, is what y'all are teaching is how to use that proprietary chart we have. That on that Micro Moment tells you exactly and precisely when to get in and when to get out. Now, once you learn how to do that, then you've got this stuff down. And but if it wasn't for that chart, you guys wouldn't be successful. Randy uses our charts also, but he doesn't use them on that in that way. In other words, he's looking for a little longer term thing on his stocks.
Yeah.
But no, that's what y'all are teaching. You're teaching that cotton picking chart and what all those things and how to use them. And Micah always gets in how you personally get involved emotionally with it and everything. So you learn how to become sort of a wimpy trader, emotional person, from with Micah. And there's Dave again. Tony and Micah. Okay, Micah, now that I insulted you again for the 12th time today, why don't you read that one?
I can tell you I'm very used to it at this point.
Don't necessarily make a comment, just read
it. Tony and Micah, period. Curious how long each of you have been trading this Micro Moment technique, and at what point in time it all came together for you. Tony, do you want to answer first?
Yeah. So I've been doing this maybe a little over a year or so. That's when I started to try to figure out exactly what it was the best way to make some of these trades. And there was previously there were some other I guess strategies that you could have used, but so I try to somewhat build off of that, but not too much. And went back to that book that Joe and Ed wrote and study that. So it's been probably over maybe a little over a year. But we didn't start teaching this webinar until, was it May? So
This is almost the end of the 20th week since it's been a subscription service.
yeah. So before May, it was a lot of different trial and error, and then so it probably took, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months.
Well, no, don't forget, Cezanne and Joni, my daughter and her friend Joni, were doing this service prior to that for a couple of years. So actually, we've been doing it for a couple of years. As it's developed today, it's somewhat different than what they were doing it. It's that their trades weren't as quick, and but they still had huge returns. I think for the first 3 months of the year, they were up 103%. So they did fantastic stuff. So.
Yeah.
Here's from Martha C., our super trader. Sue Ann is a very patient person. You guys are lucky to have her. Well, you think she's patient, Martha. You think she's patient. Tony and I know that's not the truth. You know that's not the truth.
We're all lucky.
Okay. I'm sorry I interrupted there to point that out, Tony. Did you have anything?
Yeah, no, that was about it. So it did take some months, David. And we've only been doing this service for 5 months now, and so. It's definitely understandable that some people have gotten it, some people haven't really caught on to it yet as much or as quickly. So, I mean, it did take me, some months to really hone in the skill to a point where I could teach it or try to teach it.
At the end of the 19th week, which was last Friday, they're up 2,872.34%, and that's 159.57 a week. And this week I had another 100% to that. Randy is not too far off that, but he adds all his stuff up. He's right in there because he beat him today, So he's always there. So
yep.
But Marion may be listening. We're supposed to be doing this down on Sundance Square, and my computer flaked out on me. I don't know why, because it started working. But anyhow, she showed up, came in from California, early bird special, flew in and was down there by herself when we started this because I wasn't there. So I went over to meet her after this session was over, and we had a nice lunch. Then she flew back to California, I guess. But Marion, hello. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Joe, you stood her up.
I did. Well, no, I did. And
she's way too nice of a girl for you to stand her up, Joe.
She's been a client a long time,
Yes, she has. She's an excellent, and she does everything in between doing everything.
That's right. Yeah, she makes the seminars all the time, so that's good. Marcus, do you have any more notes there? Anything?
No, we're caught up.
Okay, good. I want to remind everybody our website, www.micromomenttrading.com. Go there, sign up for the free cow report. It comes out every Friday, and it's got all the stuff about CSD and all the emails we get from people and all the questions that are asking. We also have a schedule in there for what's going on when all these seminars are. And remember, these guys are doing real trades. And I mentioned, there's one other thing. Well, I mentioned the live seminar we have coming up for the Micro Moment in-person seminar during market hours. I think it's going to be on a Thursday, and we'll be getting information out next week on that. And also the audited returns will be coming out. This, you've always got some skeptical people that probably never going to be successful trading in their life, so they think nobody else is going to be successful trading in their life. And they ask dumb, stupid questions, and we have to give. From now on, I'm going to require we give dumb, stupid answers. We think that the audited will keep those people calmed down.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any last comments, or anybody wants to type something in? Do it quick. Okay. Okay. Oh, Randy does seminars during the week. He's got a Randy. Tell him real quick before we turn this thing off what the seminars that you do. Randy, I know you got your eyesight back, but you have trouble with your ears down. Randy, Randy, your mic was muted.
I was muted. I had to unmute.
Well, I was going to be into this thing in a few minutes. I thought you might give the folks an idea of the seminars that you do during the course of the week.
Yeah, well, on Monday mornings, of course, is the teaching, training, and coaching for advanced charting. And you mentioned, Joe, we have multiple different charting programs that are included in the toolbox. And one is the intraday streaming chart that Mike and Tony uses, which is a very quick moving chart. And then there's just the regular advanced chart. And the advanced chart is 21 technical indicators all kind of rolled into an easy to learn how to read and understand chart that helps identify changes in cycles. And that's what we use for covered calls and also for longer term, what we call just momentum trading. So on Monday mornings, I teach that. I have a webinar live in the market every Monday morning going through advanced charting. And then those sessions are recorded and archived. So subscribers can not only be there in person, but if they can't be there in person, they can watch it and learn from it later on, and as many times as they wish, because it's recorded. They can play it over and over again. Then on Wednesday morning, I have the Covered Call Platinum teaching webinar, and that's the using not only all the techniques that you're going to teach on this weekend, Joe, with the covered calls, but also the synthetic covered call positions as well. And so that also is recorded and archived but it's live in the market. And so I go through all the different positions and why we're doing certain things and what's coming up and the potentials. And then on Thursday evening, I have a coaching session geared more towards the newer people with covered calls so that they can get weekly teaching in between your weekend teaching, because you teach the full seminar every couple of months, but every week they can get coaching on Thursday evenings.
Okay, thank you very much. There is if you want to see a typical, there's Al. First time watching, interesting. Thanks, Al. Appreciate you being here. And there's Martha again. Tony and Micah, will you guys be back this afternoon? He's talking about their second session. I was just getting ready to say before we end things here that if you guys do have a session this afternoon, be sure and text me and let me know, the returns so I can write them up.
Not exactly sure if I'll be back on this afternoon. Got a pretty busy schedule after this, so most likely not for me. So we will be back. I will be back on tomorrow morning, though.
Yeah, I mean, based on how Apple's been, I don't expect, in the lack of clear directional movement in the mornings, I don't expect it to be worth it to trade, really. If I would have gotten back on, it would have been for this leg down for when we were starting the seminar from about 10:57 market time onwards. So since that already happened, there might be some moves, but I don't think it's really anything that would draw me back in a hurry. So probably just tomorrow morning for me as well.
Yeah, it's pretty flat, really slow too. We went over the volume. The volume dropped off significantly. So,
one thing too. Actually, Tony, we got hooked up with him through his dad. His dad's a client. And evidently, your dad's been a client for some time, Tony. I think, right?
Yeah. I think some of that. 3, 4. I don't know. Somebody. He followed a lot of Randy's covered calls program for quite a while, and that's how it got started. Yeah. And
then believe it or not, Micah has been a client for a long time. Actually, let's see, what about 4 or 5 years, Micah?
Yeah, I think I was 16 on the
16 or 17
first seminar I went to. Yeah, because I started sending you my virtual trades when I was 17.
17.
17.
Oh, 17. Okay, I started to say.
Yeah, 17.
You were not aging well. You were not aging
No.
well. You started when you were 7. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, my first real experience with Trade the Moment was after that cruise. Joe had me send him my trades, and I was just paper trading. I wasn't legally allowed to have an account yet, but I paper traded. I don't remember the exact number. It was a while ago, but it was over 300% in the first 3 months on the whole account. So I was able to. It was like $100,000 account, and
we didn't meet him for a couple of years, several years actually. We met him on a Caribbean cruise that we had, and he and your brother, right? Was
Yep.
that your brother came and because he wasn't old enough to drink or anything because he was pretty young. Had to escort him, and so that's when we met him for the first time. But his school used to give him a room. We attended seminars that we did, and they would give him a room so he wouldn't be bothered by anybody while he was working on his computer in this room. So
yeah, it was really cool. They tagged it on as like an extracurricular, and I was able to paper trade. My school started earlier, so I was school was started when the market opened, so they let me trade first and then start working on my schoolwork. So it was a really cool blessing for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if anybody else, any last minute, I'm going to give you about 15 seconds here. If anybody has another question or comment they want to make, go ahead and type it in, and then we'll call it for the day. This is about, okay, thanks for everything that you do. That's from Martha. Thank you, Martha. Always enjoy hearing your reports during the day, all those trades. So, okay, guys. I hope, Dave, thank you all. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you being here. So, see y'all later.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Okay.